When you're a coach in football, your job is to tailor your game plan and offense around your players' talents, not force an archaic 20-yard box restricting offense on your quarterback. What Kevin Stefanski has done, and it's been known around Cleveland media that Baker Mayfield called out this offense saying it was too high schoolish and it will not succeed in the pros, and it's laughable at best. And Kevin Stefanski hated them for it. He became enraged when Baker Mayfield said that, and that's what really started the bad blood between Stefanski and Mayfield. But if you look at what DeShaun Watson did in Houston, it was exemplary. He put on some of the greatest football we've seen from the quarterback position in history from the Houston Texans. And it was a wide open offense. But Stefanski, if you guys don't know what offense he runs, it's a 20-yard box. Everything happens within a 20-yard restriction, a box. If you ever notice, we don't go downfield. We don't. And every defense has figured out our plays now because we run like 7 plays over the course of the game, over and over and over. That's why his reliance on trick plays lately has been evident because he can't move the ball. He's trying anything to move the ball right now. In his mind, he's I believe, an Ivy League school guy. He's supposed to be intelligent, but in his mind, he can't figure out what's going on. When common sense will tell you they figured you out. But he doesn't want to admit that because he doesn't want to admit his offense is trash. If you look at our offense, I mean, just go look at any high school team and on Friday night, you'll see it. It's any other NFL team you watch and you're sitting there like, oh my God, this is so crazy compared to what we run. And it's obvious that no quarterback can succeed in it. You can't. Tom Brady comes here, he's not going to run it. Aaron Rodgers is not going to run it. DeShaun Watson, you could just tell he's confused, discombobulated, everything. It's making everything around him slow. The way he moves, the way he scrambles, the way he processes, everything. Now, you would think that this coach would say, you know what? You played great in Houston. And I don't want to hear about layoff because Michael Vick was out of football for 3 years in prison. He came back with Andy Reid, and he had his best career ever after 3 years of it. And he wasn't even allowed to throw a football in prison. He didn't have none of this stuff that DeShaun Watson had as luxury. So I don't want to hear about layoff. This is all on coaching. Andy Reid would not have DeShaun Watson. If Andy Reid was a coach in Cleveland, would not have DeShaun Watson running a high school offense right now. There's no fucking way. You think DeShaun Watson and Andy Reid's in Cleveland right now, he's going to be running this offense? Fuck no. That's the problem with Stefanski. He only knows this offense. And why he has to, listen, his play calls are terrible. He's not a good play caller. I don't know why people think he is. He's terrible. But why he has to have anything to do with the offense is beyond me. The guy was a defensive back for an Ivy League school. He wasn't even a good football player. And if you look at the Minnesota Vikings, look at Kirk Cousins had his worst year under Stefanski. Stephon Diggs caught 62 passes under Stefanski, his worst year ever. You know what he did the year after Stefanski left? He caught 115 balls. That shows you how bad this offense is. And no quarterback can play good in it. But wouldn't you think a coach, and this is where Jimmy Haslam needs to come in. Jimmy Haslam needs to get involved. You spent $230 million on what could be a bargain right now. Because if Deshaun Watson's back to the 2020 form, this is a bargain for quarterback play. What was considered a fucking risk, I mean, $230 million for a quarterback in today's NFL market, that's a fucking steal. They guaranteed it. Now, you would think Jimmy Haslam would get involved and say, what the fuck is going on here? I mean, he might have, and these Ivy League clowns said, oh, no, Jimmy, it's okay. It's going to take some time. That's the problem. Because you need to do whatever makes him, there's nothing wrong with Watson. He's not injured. But in his mind, he's saying, why should I, listen, they said that Deshaun had to beg Stefanski to run more open offense. And Stefanski likes to run these tight formations. And when they said that on a local broadcast, that tells you all you need to know about Stefanski. A quarterback should never have to beg his coach to do what he wants to do. That just shows you that this guy not even knows, he has no clue on how to utilize his talent, but he won't utilize it even though he knows his talent wants him to do this. And he's hurting the team right now. Because you have to do, what they need to do with watching this, listen, we're going to do everything you like to do. And if he plays great, unbelievable. But if he doesn't play great, then you know you got a big problem. But I already know what the problem is. It's Stefanski's high school offense that no one can succeed in. I mean, we got the 32nd ranked offense in football right now. What's that tell you? PJ Walker can't run it. DTR can't. No one can run it. So the problem is Kevin fucking Stefanski. But you fucking idiots out there don't see it. Because you're just content with being 4-2. You know that's going to be 4-3 after we get fucking shellacked against Seattle. Our defense will play great, but guess what? We won't be able to score. Because you think Pete Carroll doesn't know how to defend a 20-yard box offense? You think Pete Carroll's not sitting there saying, oh, everything they do is inside 20 yards. It's the easiest offense to defend. That's why defensive coordinators love to play us. But you would think Stefanski would say, oh, yeah, whatever you like to do, we're going to do. Watson's not hurt. There's nothing wrong with him. But in his mind, he's saying, like, I think he wanted to play against the Colts. He went out there, and it's obviously this offense he's not good in. For whatever reason, he's not good in. And he's just like, fuck it. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play. If you're going to put me in a place that's going to fucking sabotage me like you did Baker Mayfield, let me make this clear. I don't know if I said it already in this video because my mind's kind of fucked up. Baker Mayfield hated this offense. So if you're going to put me in that predicament, I'm just not going to play. And that's the problem. And I can't believe that I discovered the Ivy Code 2 years ago. And I can't believe people out there don't know it exists. And what the Ivy Code is, it's a bunch of Ivy Leaguers. I think they know more about football than people that actually been coaching for years. I mean, discredit the 2020 COVID season. No one cares about that. Baker Mayfield's best year was his rookie year. He was an actual NFL quarterback, all right? When Baker Mayfield, his rookie year, he was slinging the ball all around the field in a wide-open offense. I think Ken Zampese ran that offense. The 2020 year, Baker Mayfield was a game manager. It was against defenses that were running second and third stringers the whole year because of COVID. You got to discount that. That didn't mean nothing. Since then, when NFL got back to normal, real football players, real football coaches, whatever, wasn't third and fourth stringers, whatever, Kevin Stefanski has been regressing yearly. And I don't think these Browns fans understand we have a stacked roster now. When Hugh Jackson was here, his quarterbacks are DeShaun Kaiser and Kevin fucking Hogan, Cody Kessler. Our best receiver was Terrell Pryor, an ex-NFL quarterback, Dwayne Bowe. Our running backs, I can't even name them, Ben Gay or Isaiah Crowell. We had no talent. So, of course, Hugh Jackson's not going to be good. And you Browns fans say, oh, you guys don't know football. If Kevin Stefanski was around coaching the Cleveland Browns when we had those years, Hugh Jackson's years, Hugh Jackson was 1-31, we would have probably been 0-48. We wouldn't have won a game in 3 years. That's how bad Stefanski is. But you would think that a coach that would be on the hot seat would say, you know what? Whatever you want to do, DeShaun, we're going to do. We're going to game plan around what you want to do. But obviously, that's not the case. Maybe Jimmy Haslam's like not putting pressure on Stefanski. Maybe Haslam's like, who cares? It is what it is. I got money. I got the Bucks now, the Milwaukee Bucks. Maybe Haslam flat out don't give a fuck. Maybe the only thing Haslam cares about is his grandkids are in the fucking locker room after a victory. Maybe that's all. I wish he would sell the team because he's ruined the fucking Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns have everything on that roster right now to contend for their 9th championship. It's not going to happen with Stefanski. The fact that they're not making a move for a quarterback is alarming. I think that tells you right there that they know that this offense is limited and no quarterback will help them. Because you can only do so much on a high school offense when you're playing against NFL players. How are you going to move the ball against NFL players running the high school concepts? You can't. I mean, he needs this guy. How the fuck is he still a coach? And how the fuck do you bring a player in here like Watson? What did they sell DeShaun Watson on that made him want to? I know it was the money, obviously, but he's got to be regretting his decision now because the guy is terrible. He's like Johnny Manziel was in Cleveland. That's how bad DeShaun Watson is. He is so bad right now. He looks like Johnny Manziel. And I'll guarantee you, if Andy Reid was here right now, DeShaun Watson would be better than he was in 2020. I'll guarantee you, if Rob Chudinski was here, DeShaun Watson would be better than he was in 2020. Any other coach that we had, the Mike Pettin, anybody, Eric Mangini, this guy we got now is such an egomaniac cancer. And the players, you don't think the players in the locker room watch my videos on Twitter? They see what's going on. They know what's going on. They hate Stefanski. They know that, and I'll guarantee you, DeShaun Watson, let me tell you something. I know you're going to see this video because I'm going to title it so you'll see it. You need to go to the media and say, listen, because listen, Stefanski don't give a fuck about you. He's sabotaging you. To you or to Kevin Stefanski, you are nothing but a fucking analytic puppet. He's just him and his little counterpart, Di Podesta, are trying to devise an offense that anyone can run, and they think you could just keep plugging in fifth-year quarterbacks, whatever, so they don't have to spend a lot of money on quarterbacks. Everyone says Haslam forced them to sign, Watson. They're trying to devise a system that anyone can run, so you don't need a superstar quarterback. And guess what? Looks good on paper, running that kind of offense, but guess what? The NFL defense hasn't figured it out. So no, you need a superstar quarterback. And Stefanski will not deviate from his high school offense. So here's what you need to do. You need to come to the media and say, listen, my shoulder's fine, but I don't feel like playing in a high school offense that constricts my abilities. What I do best is not being utilized in this offense, so why should I fucking play? Why should I go out there and run an offense I'm not comfortable in? So why should I put myself at jeopardy? I'm already guaranteed money, and guess what? That will get the ball fucking rolling. That will get the ball rolling on a national level when people say, What's going on in Cleveland? Because right now, nobody knows about what's going on except smart football people like me. So you need to come out and say something because Stefanski don't give a fuck about you. And you know what? If you came out and said that, there's going to be an outcry to get Kevin Stefanski the fuck out of here and get somebody in Cleveland that will devise an offense that suits your abilities. Because right now, I got to be honest with you, DeShaun Watson, there's no difference between you. The only difference between you and Johnny Manziel is the fact that you're black and he's white. Because you play football like Johnny Manziel right now. You've had one decent half of football in 10 games in Cleveland. And I can think of at least 6 of those games you were flat out horrible in. And I know it's Stefanski. I know it for a fact. I know football, and I know this high school offense that he runs the same plays 4 or 5 times during the course of the game. If you look at our plays, like we did run the same plays. He ran the same plays 3 times in 5 plays last year. He ran the same reverse play 2 times in a game, I think this year or something. He does the same thing over and over because he doesn't have many options on his play sheet. He's not a smart football guy. He's not. So you need to come out with the media and say, yeah, I'm fine, but me and the coach don't see eye to eye. Because you should not have to beg to run your fucking offense. I'm sorry, you shouldn't. And that will fix football in Cleveland. And I don't even care about football right now because I know don't matter. As long as Kevin Stefanski's there, we have no chance at winning. Nobody, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino would not be able to function in this restricted 20-yard box offense. The only difference between those guys and DeShaun Watson, they would actually go to Jimmy Haslam and say, I'm not running this. They'd go to the media and say, I'm not running this shit. I'm not going to do it. DeShaun Watson, he's got his money. He don't give a fuck. He's like, fuck it. Maybe, because I know how these guys are, these cult members like Stefanski. What they do is it's like hearts and minds. They get players or people to like them, and then they capture them. It's called hearts and minds. And then maybe DeShaun feels like he owes Stefanski something, so he doesn't want to throw him under the bus. I can tell you, when Stefanski's talking to the meetings with fucking Jimmy Haslam and you're not there, he's throwing you under the bus. Trust me, Watson. You don't understand. They're using you. They're using you for their little Ivy code. So you need to man up, because you're the fucking clown of the sports world right now. Maybe you just don't give a fuck anymore, or maybe you just suck now. But I think you're better than that. And I want my football team to win their ninth championship. And you hold the key to that. And you know what you need to do. Go to the media and say what I said. And Kevin Stefanski will be forced to do what you want to do. To be honest with you, I'm surprised, because I know what you wanted in Houston. You wanted a lot of control in Houston. Well, maybe because they paid you your money, guaranteed money. You don't give a fuck now. I don't know, but I'm surprised that when you came here, that the whole offense wasn't devised around what you're fucking good at. I'm shocked. And it's fucking honestly so bizarre that they wouldn't tailor the offense to suit your fucking... I just can't get over it. It's just hard to imagine. It's hard to fathom that there's an NFL coach out there that would not utilize the talents that you have. It boggles the mind. Why wouldn't you utilize this guy? It's like getting Lamar Jackson and not letting him run. Doesn't make sense. So anyway, I gave you the key. What you do with it is your choice. I'd like to see you use it.